So now we've discussed why you should care about the DOM, why it's exciting, and we've also talked about what it is, what the document object model means, the fact that it's just a model of every element on a page using JavaScript objects. The top level object is called the document. So that's great, but we haven't seen how to do anything with it yet. So in this video, I'm going to briefly introduce the process of manipulating things using the DOM. So I've boiled down the whole process to two keywords: select and manipulate. So just like CSS, where we write a selector to select something with the class of special or all H1s or all image tags, we select elements, and then we apply styles like background color purple, border 1 pixel solid black. With JavaScript and DOM manipulation, we also select elements, although we do it in a very different way. We write JavaScript code which goes and selects elements and returns them back to us, and then we change properties on them. So we select something, and then we manipulate it. So in the next few slides, I'm going to show you how we could select this H1, my header, and how we could change it to be pink. I've been saying this a lot in the last few videos, but I don't want you to focus on the syntax as much as the concepts. The next few videos will get into the nitty-gritty of selecting and manipulating. This is just an overview of how it works. So on this slide, I'm going to show how you could select that H1. Just like with CSS, there's a lot of different ways of selecting a given element. In this case, this line of code, document.querySelector H1, is going to select the H1 on this page. So I've highlighted it here with this green box so you can see what's being selected. So again, var H1, this is just any variable we want, equals document.querySelector H1. So we'll spend a lot more time with query selector and define what it is and how it works, but it returns an object that represents this H1, and it saves it in the H1 variable. So that's the selecting process. The next part is manipulating it. So to manipulate it, I can do all sorts of things, and all that I'm going to do here is change the color to be pink. So we just write H1, which is our variable that has the object representing the H1, dot style, that's one property, and that style property is a huge object with a bunch of other properties, and color is one of them. So h1.style.color equals pink. And then that's all I have to do, and the browser sees that I changed that property to pink, and it automatically updates what's displayed by turning it pink. So we selected here, and then we manipulated. So I have one more example here that's a little more complicated. We're doing a very simple animation where every second we're changing the background color of the body between blue and white. So what we need to do first is select the body and then manipulate it. So to select it, I have another line using document.querySelector, which again we're going to come back to in the next video. Document.querySelector body. So that gives me the body element, or it actually gives me the object representation, the model of it, that I save in the body variable. Then I have this variable isBlue, which is just a Boolean that I'm going to use because I need to know if I'm going from blue to white or white to blue. So it starts out as false, and then I'm using setInterval, which we covered a few videos ago. If you don't remember how it works, it basically takes two arguments. The first one is some code to run, a function, and the second one is a number or a time in milliseconds. So it takes this number of milliseconds, which is 1000 or 1 second, and every 1 second it will call this code. So what this code does is it checks if the background is currently blue. If it is, we then change it to be white. If the background is white, then we change it to be blue. So to take a closer look, we have our if is blue. So that's just a variable. It starts out as false. So the very first time the page loads, the background is white. Is blue is false. So this line doesn't run, but this one does, else body.style.background equals this hexadecimal color, which is blue. So that changes the background to be blue. So then we just change our isBlue variable from false to true. And that's a nice short way of doing it with the exclamation point or the not operator. So then this code runs again. Next time, isBlue is already true. So this code does run, body.style.background equals white. So now we're going back to white. This doesn't run. And then we change isBlue back to false. And that keeps going forever. So not that you would ever want something as distracting as a background color that changes every second, but this does go to show that we can do things more complex than just changing an H1 from black to pink. So to wrap all of this up, Two words: select, manipulate. We select, we grab some objects that represent elements, and then we do something to them. So the rest of this unit is going to be focused on different ways of selecting and then different ways of manipulating. So the next video is going to dive deep into the different ways of selecting elements using JavaScript. We've seen one already, query selector. We're going to expand on that and learn a few more.